Okay, part 2 of the previous video that got the stop after 5 minutes due to dinner. I realized a bit later, but dinner went out a little bit longer than I thought it would. So, I left off with Yuta entering a mysterious room, it looked like a storage room, and then there's a door on the other side, which leads him to a fantasy world. Yep, where there's like a barrier surrounding the place, and also he gets some weapons. He tests them out, like a sword, a death sight, a spear. I'm like, okay, cool. Then, of course, he battles the monsters, which, of course, after beating a blood ogre, yes, a blood ogre, he beefs up. And then he gets back home after this. Yeah, he basically, this is a portal to this world. So, then he goes back home, and then the sequence I saw from Free Evolution happens again here, where his body begins to change because of skills, not because he ate a fruit. Actually, more like 10 fruits he ate. Like, he's like in constant pain, the thing ripped from his face, his whole body got remade. He doesn't see what his face looks like till later, because when he wakes up, he knows the fact, oh, I'm no longer chubby. I am ripped. He doesn't see his face because the mirror was broken from the previous morning, and then he goes to school, and nobody recognizes him because his face is so different. So they're like, "Who are you, a trans student?" Like, "No, I'm Yuta." Of course, they count the fact that he mentioned, "Oh yeah, I actually lost weight during the summer break." Despite the fact it was pointed out when I read, apparently he had difficulty trying to lose weight. Of course, they thought he was ugly. He was ugly. As for why in the world he was like that, the thing is, the man was living by himself. He was barely getting off. Like, as for why he was always chubby, it's not very clear. Like, what, did he eat too much? Not really. Could you say he was a bit lazy? I say kind of. He does, however, have a shrine to his grandfather in his house, which is a Japanese trait. This is a trait from Japanese culture that I've seen in anything related to the real world. So then, of course, everyone's like, oh, he basically something happened with him. And of course, his siblings, who is younger than him, was bully him, and then we have a limo pull up. Yes, a limo, and the girl from the early in the episode who he saved, who turns out she's actually the daughter of the principal of this fancy school. And this girl, her name is, I'm gonna find her name right now. And name is Kaori Hanju. Excuse me, yep. Versus to her father, Tasuka Hanjo. Who seems like very much a complete gentleman. By the way, he's voiced by Seth Miguel. I forgot to mention some voice actors here. So, Kaori is voiced by Kelsey Meyer. Yuta is voiced by, in the English dub, he is voiced by Lee George. Who the heck is he? I have no idea. His parents, let's start with siblings. His younger brother is voiced by Kevin Thelwell. His sister, very pretty girl, she's voiced by Ladi Maki Daz, which this actually is my 11th series I've heard her in. Yep, 11th. Yuta's late grandfather, Yosuke Tandro, was voiced by Kent Williams. Good choice. Yep, so then, of course, basically, he's brought to school. After meeting, of course, basically, it's known as the Orisi Academy. And, of course, basically, we're also introduced to a teacher, a very beautiful woman. Her name is Ria Sawada. Yes, woman with long purple hair. Also, apparently, the school uniform in this place isn't what Yuta's wearing, because basically he had to go get himself his new uniform. By the way, also, whenever he kills monsters, the Monopoly turn to Japanese currency, which, when I read, apparently does not affect the economy when he does this. Not really, no. So, by the way, the uniform of the school, it's like blue tie, black shirt, white suit coat with a blue trim. And we're also introduced to a student, basically, because he's here on a trial basis. And her name is Yukanai Hado. And I'm looking here, basically, at the outfit. He has blue tie, black shirt, white suit coat, black buttons, black breast pocket, black inside, white trim on the front part of the collar. The top part is basically blue with white, which, very good look. I love this particular look. And of course, this girl's also got like blue trimmings in her hair. Probably a trend in Japan. Also, she's got like a necklace on her. So they test everything out. And he's, of course, be a trial student in this place. So, after being there for a day, this is episode 2, mind you, he exits being a student. So, he proceeds to go back to Fantasy World, kill some more monsters, get himself basically some armor, which he wears every time he goes there, is black armor he makes. Then he's like, I need to buff up my level. Let's go slowly. So, he ventures out. And just by sheer coincidence, the very first monster he comes across is a Goblin General. And he battles this one for a bit and saves a young girl. How he gets from it, it's like, oh, yeah, there's a guy screaming. And then, of course, the girl there, who turns out to be, get this, the area that he's in, that's the country's princess. You're like, what? Seriously? Yes. Her name is Lexa von Arsela. Yes. And she's voiced by Kelly Greenshield. Yeah. So, he saves her, and of course he briefly sees her. Excuse me, she sees him. Then he leaves. And then, like, of course she finds where he is at the next episode. So, next episode is interesting. So, he's wearing this shirt, won't get dirty. It's like, I need a different shirt. So, he goes to the mall to go shopping. And of course, all the ladies basically knows, oh, what a handsome guy. Oh my gosh. And there's also a photo shoot going on here in this episode where the male model is running late. You're like, why in the world would a male model be running late? Yeah, and we're also introduced to, well, a very beautiful model by the name Mew Mandu, and she is voiced by Macy Allen Johnson. And her agency is Star Productions. Yeah, even here, basically, that, well, like in Japan, there is agencies basically who hire, well, actors, models. So, at least basically, there's something I'm familiar with, basically, because I care about talent agencies. So, the guy who's sort of like the chief photographer is talking to the agent like, where is your guy? By the way, the guy named Shun, by the way. and he's running late. And the thing is, apparently the man drank a lot prior to his shoot. So he's like, oh, I need to basically find somebody. And we have some girls who want to chat with him for a bit. Basically, he just politely turns him down. And then he's like, I gotta find some clothes. And of course, he goes to the escalator. And just by sheer coincidence, the photographer sees Yuta and immediately casts him to be in this photo shoot. Which, okay. And like, so much chemistry between him and Mew. Like, animates good photo shoot, no problem. And then Shu shows up. Where he's a dick as ever. He's a massive dick. So then he proceeds to try to force himself, well, pushing her against the wall. And it seems like he's about to do something to her. Yuta's like, she told you no. You keep moving in. So then the guy proceeds to try to punch Yuta. And he proceeds to give him a judo flip. Yes, a judo flip. And apparently because of this, he can no longer get work because of how much of a massive dick he is. And the fact he actually tried to sexually assault a model in a mall. And because of this, he's fired on the spot. And there's a post-credit scene in this episode where the director of the agency really wants Yuta to sign a contract right away, but he just go back to fantasy setting where, of course, Lexa basically is very interesting who this guy is, and eventually he does show up, and then the episode properly ends with her asking him to marry her, to shock everybody. This fact she doesn't really know him at all. She doesn't know him once prior to this. But yeah, overall, fantastic episode so far. I gotta admit, I'm having a lot more fun watching this than I am the most notorious talker. It's not due to the language thing. It's not that. It's just the story is a lot more lighter here than it is in that one. Yep. But yeah, that's basically it. Took a few. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up is the Rising of the Shield Hero. Okay? Next view. Bye.